A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for finding time to be with us today. My name is Miriam Ogutu. The show is Kenya and Africa at a glance, and we do have so much in store for you as we bring you up to date with what is happening in the country of Kenya and also in Africa towards the end of the bulletin. So as usual, I'll just read through quickly the leading newspapers, and then we shall get into our conversation this morning. And the Star newspaper, Gachagua best for DP, Kenneth talk for Raila. Madeira member of parliament was preferred by 24.9% of respondents, and Peter Kenneth by 27.3% of responded. The stories on page 4 and 5 on the Star newspaper. And Elephant delivers miracle twins in rare birth. You'll find that on page 3 of the Star newspaper. And Girita to spend 2 days in prison for skipping court. The story is there. And farmer rakes in 500,000 Kenya shillings per month for from three tomatoes. So that is what we have there on the Star newspaper. And then we turn our attention to the Standard newspaper, a new battleground for Raila and Ruto, with the constitution providing that one must garner 50% plus one vote for a first round victory in the presidential race. DP William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga have begun a spirited drive to ensure that 4.5 million eligible but unregistered voters enlist. The stories on page 8 and 10 of the Standard. I almost said of the Constitution, maybe because I've been following so much the Supreme Court hearing. Can you imagine? Page 8 and 10 of the Kenyan Constitution. And then we want higher pay. Kupet tells employer, that is on page 11. Truck drivers stuck at border over COVID test. And a family Spain as more bodies found in Yala, and don't sanitize BBI, Supreme Court told. You'll find that on page 5 and 6 and 7 of the Standard newspaper. And still that will form the basis of our main conversation this morning as we continue to look at the BBI Supreme hearing, the appeal case that is ongoing. And this is the third and the last day of this appeal hearing. So we will look at that. And when Jigi Free, a state barred from action, that is on page 13. And the main pictorial on the Standard is of a woman registering as a new voter at Moi Avenue Primary School in Nairobi. Very well, and then we turn our attention to the Daily Nation. And one Kenya lands factor in Raila Ruto runoff, that is the main headline. Union wants 70% pay rise for teachers, that is Kupet. And man arrested, 2 million Kenya shillings for wrong diagnosis. Man awarded 2 million Kenya shillings for wrong diagnosis, that is on page 3. And Kenya Power staff to spend 8 more days in SARS, that is on page 8. And the respirited fight against BBI activists urge Supreme Court judges to uphold the decisions by the lower courts that nullified the process. So that is what we have on the leading newspapers this morning. And I'm joined by Daniel Wasonga, our in-house analyst and our correspondent from Nairobi. Daniel Wasonga, very good morning to you.
Very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu in Nairobi. Good morning to our viewers. Good afternoon, good evening, depending from where they're tuning in from. And it is my pleasure to join the conversation this morning.
All right. And before we get into the Supreme Court appeal of the BBI, let's first look at other news. For the last 2 days, we've not done that very well, but there are also things that are happening that we should be looking at. And then we'll get to our main conversation, which is the BBI appeal, the Supreme Court of Kenya. And, you know, the headline on the Star newspaper, Gachagua best for Deputy President William Ruto and Kenneth best for Raila as Deputy President. This, I think, according to a poll by, according to a poll on the Star newspaper. So I don't know what you make of this. Gachagua for Deputy President and Kenneth for Raila Odinga. What do you think of that?
Thank you, Miriam. And of course, for anyone who has been following the political scene in Kenya, should maybe as well decipher these kind of projections. And if you are not serious about our country, if at all our business is to give away our country, then we're gonna give it to William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. What I mean is that these are deeply corrupt people. These are people who at one time served a repressive regime of Nyayo. One as a YK92 stalwart, and another one was a DO in Molo. And also later on their history come to meet, where one is accused of butchering people in Kiambaa KAG Church massacre, and actually that's a case that is in ICC. And another one was used to frustrate the Kikuyus who live in Molo. So to me, I believe that will be a coalition of impunity, a ticket of impunity, where the presidential candidate is a man who has been accused of rights against humanity, and a man who is deeply corrupt, who has been accused of so many corrupt scandals, Miriam. He was a minister of agriculture. He was sacked by Raila Odinga because of the corruption. He told us on the national television that the first land that they ever owned as students, it was a land that they discovered had no owner in Eldoret town. And when they were given with former President Moi, they sold it and bought his first car. These are men who, at the height of the 2007, 2008 post-election violence, took away Adrian Muteshi's land. This is a man who has been accused of stealing land belonging to a primary school along Langata Road, where Western Hotel is sitting. This is a man whose hotel is sitting on a land, a public land, which is owned by the Kenya Airports Authority, and whose origin is actually a concentration camp of the colonialists, where a museum should be sitting today. This is a man who has been accused of massive corruption through his cronies in various ministries of government, a majority of whom, like Rotich, like Rashida Chesa, have been released from government. So to me, I believe this is the epitome of corruption. And if you're going to have a ticket of Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto, then as well, if they become, God forbid, if they win the election, then this country will go to the dogs. On the other side, Peter Kenneth is someone who has been known for clean, peaceful politics, just like his presidential, maybe projected presidential partner, who is Raila Odinga, a man who has been known to fight for civil liberties, a man who has been known to be upright in his dealings, and also a statesman in his demeanor and the way he has been handling national issues. So to me, Miriam, this particular ticket is like light and darkness, is like day and night. So there's no way we can have maybe William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua on one ticket and they be able to win the election. But having Peter Kenneth and Raila Odinga, I believe it will give Kenyans an option of the rightful people who can be able to steer this nation to the rightful direction.
Okay, and let's stay with the combination for a moment, because you brought in the issue of demeanor, and as we know that Gachagua is a very outspoken person, and sometimes, could be engaged in a bit of a combative way of delivery and how he speaks, and quite similar to what we see for the deputy president. So should he decide to choose Gachagua as his deputy president, will this be a headache to him? Because Gachagua might turn out to be what he has been to President Uhuru Kenyatta, which is a rebel, and he might just get a taste of his own medicine in the long run.
I believe Gachagua is as abrasive as William Ruto. The other day I told you of a story. It is on tape. Anyone who is interested in searching out that particular tape can go out there. After all, it is not me or maybe this particular TV station which said that during the YK92 days when in Trans Nzoia, William Ruto reached out for a man who had actually hit the windscreen of their vehicle together with George Captain and Cyrus Jirongo. And once George Captain got this gentleman, whatever William Ruto did actually really surprised the rest of them. He strangled this young man to death. And that is a matter of record. If they want, they can go look for Jirongo to expound more on that. And on Gachagua, there's also a story given by one Wafula Buke, who was a director in ODM and also a civil rights activist. He says that during his time in the university, Gachagua was the puppet of the Nyayo government, but also he was an abrasive individual. If he met you and you had something very nice, he could not even ask for it. You will just realize it has disappeared and there's nothing you do about it because he had the protection of the state. So these are thugs of sort, Miriam. I won't shy away from calling them thugs because the things they do actually border whatever thugs do there on the streets and hoodlands in the hoods out there, Miriam. So to me, I believe if they are put to work together, then we will forget about this country. You won't imagine the number of people who will go, who will disappear without a trace. You won't imagine amount of property, government property, that will disappear without anyone raising a point of concern. But more specifically, Miriam, I believe they'll be able to work together simply because these are deeply corrupt individuals. Rigathi Gachagua, when his brother was the governor of Nyeri, you know whatever scandals that followed him during those times when the brother was unwell in the hospital. When he was given a tender to supply medical equipment to hospitals across the counties, you know whatever he did, he supplied air and went ahead to receive monies for these ghost tenders that he received from the counties. So the same thing with William Ruto, a man being accused of massive corruption in government. In fact, his boss does not want to work with him simply because of the massive corruption that he has been patronizing in the government through his cronies, and that is why the other day President Uhuru Kenyatta said they were losing 2 billion Kenyan shillings, you can imagine, Miriam, in a day, because we have a rogue deputy president whose office in Harambee House Annex is filled with entrepreneurs from the ground floor all the way to the top floor of the office. And also, you realize that apart from stealing from government, these people are also stealing from the hardworking Kenyans. If you ask someone today if they know anyone who is close to the deputy president, they'll tell you those are conmen. They will tell people, give me this amount of money, I'm gonna help you get a tender in the office of the deputy president of this amount of money. When you give them the money, they disappear with your money and you never receive your money again. So these are people, that is the same thing actually what Rashid Mohammed was trying to do with the fake arms deal and all that. So these are people who are very, very much entrenched in corruption, or rather corruption is entrenched in them. So to me, I believe they'll work quite well because they are both corrupt and they have the same agenda of looting this country to its bankruptcy. And maybe they might have a few disagreements because one is so much, both of them actually are so combative, and maybe that could bring some bit of friction. But I believe they can work together perfectly to loot this country and send it to the dogs. That is something that Kenyans should be keen at and should not allow that these two ill combination comes to friction and William Ruto becomes the president and Rigathi Gachagua becomes his deputy. The country will be finished, Miriam. That will be kaput for the Kenyan people. They will not have even land for the public. They will not even have money for the budget. You listen to William Ruto talking, promising a lot of money to these mamambogas, watu wa boda boda, na wafanyibiashara wadogo. You wonder where this money is going to be coming from. That is money that is going to be coming from the treasury. And if this money is going to be given out without any structural, maybe amenities to ensure that this money goes in ventures which will be able to regenerate revenue back to government, so that government can be able also to focus on infrastructural development, then we must lose the country, because a country develops more when it invests in infrastructural development. For example, if today, President Uhuru Kenyatta has built so many roads, that means that we have very, very fast and efficient movements of goods and services. If he built, let's say, he has built markets in various localities with refrigeration facilities, it means that traders are able to store their produce and be able to sell it while it is fresh, and therefore they avoid and mitigate on the losses that come with maybe spoilage and all that. And that is how empowerment should happen. Give a man a fish and you'll feed him the rest of his life. Give a man a fishing net and a boat and they'll be able to sustain themselves. So to me, I believe it will be a bandit economy when we have William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. But on the question of working together, I believe they can work together. But to what end? But that will be to finish Kenya economically, and anything that is there to be grabbed will actually go. I submit, Miriam.
All right, very well. Then indeed, both of them are very strong personalities. So sometimes, you know, like what do you call them? Like poles. They don't really attract, but you know, that will be an interesting ticket to see the combination, to see how that will work out for them. Now, there's a story, something that has been happening. We've not had time to look at it before we get to Azimio la Umoja and One Kenya Alliance. Presidential hopeful Jimmy Wanjigi, who was arrested on Tuesday night in a commando-style operation by armed police, was on Wednesday freed without any charges, being preferred over an alleged 56 million Kenya shillings land fraud. Immediately after he walked out of the Milimani court cells, where he was detained for 9 hours, Mr. Wanjigi alleged his arrest was politically motivated. He vowed not to be cowed by his political rivals, even as his lawyers, Mr. Willis Otieno and Mr. Nicholas Nyamai, blamed the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP Nordin Haji, for failing to arrest and charge 11 suspects over the land in question. Milimani Senior Principal Magistrate Bernard Ochoi said that the prosecution of Mr. Wanjigi had been stopped by High Court Judge Anthony Mrima. And this is something that we've seen play out the other day when he, you know, there was a siege at his office and all that until he was arrested and all that. But what I found to be interesting, what caught my attention after his release and what he was saying, of course, he's saying this is politically motivated and that this is because he wants to run as the president of this country through the ODM ticket. And I don't know, according to how he sounded, Raila is truly worried that he might take that ticket from him. So I don't know, what is you're smiling, so you don't believe what he says, but what is your opinion?
Miriam, let Jimmy Wanjigi join Musalia Mudavadi on 23rd and give Kenyans a tsunami. Because, you know, when Jimmy Wanjigi says that Raila Odinga is worried over the ODM ticket, it is only laughable, Miriam, from where I sit. And one thing I'll really like to put it clear that Jimmy Wanjigi was not arrested simply because he's maybe perhaps posing a threat to the ODM leader, Raila Odinga. Come on, Miriam. I believe Raila Odinga is a seasoned politician, and those who know him actually call him Magwambo, which means the mysterious one. And that is because Raila has always learned on how to rebrand himself. So whenever I think that Raila is finished politically, he always comes up with something new. And just like a phoenix raises from the ashes, he got 9 lives of a cat. And therefore, you know, it is so much difficult to defeat Raila Odinga. Now, someone imagining that he could defeat Raila Odinga in his own party of ODM, I think that is stretching their imagination a bit too far. Jimmy Wanjigi has been having this court case since 2014. So therefore, telling Kenyans that he's being arrested simply because he's opposed to Raila Odinga, I think that is scapegoating, and it is quite unfair to Raila Odinga that anyone in this country who gets arrested maybe due to corruption or maybe doing shoddy dealings and all that, when they are not in good books with Raila, will always pass the buck and blame Raila Odinga. So many people have been elected into office simply by just using Raila's name by blaming him in one or so reasons, or maybe even insulting him. So to me, I always think Raila Odinga is an enigma, and they say that it is only a tree that bears fruit that stone are cast against. So I think Jimmy Wanjigi just was just looking for a convenient scapegoat for his case. After all, would he say that also his wife, who was also party to this kind of accusation, was also maybe being persecuted because of Raila Odinga? I don't think that is the matter. And Jimmy Wanjigi himself actually said that this case has been there for quite some time. So that does not exonerate him from any falsehood. These are cases that he has also agreed that it was there. So if it was there, it means something fishy happened, and it is upon him to actually put his matters together and avoid dragging Raila Odinga's name into his wars for convenience purposes. We understand that he has been very, maybe disgruntled by the fact that Raila Odinga had a handshake with President Uhuru Kenyatta. This is a man who has been denied government tenders, and therefore their acrimony does not maybe hail from yesterday. It is something that comes all the way after the formation of 2013 Jubilee government. So to me, I think he is using the wrong people to settle his cause with the president, and also maybe trying to drag the ODM leader's name into his wars in a wrong way. Jimmy Wanjigi should be reminded that Raila Odinga is not his puppet. Raila Odinga, I know, is a man who is very much principled, and a man who cannot tolerate some kind of shady dealings and corruption before his table. And that is the same thing with President Uhuru Kenyatta. When the Deputy President William Ruto with his cronies were at the top of the state's capture and haste in 2016, he was actually having rumors headed within Jubilee Party that he was having a thought of maybe substituting a running mate and getting someone who will not give him headache in terms of corruption when he's thinking about the Big Four agenda and development. So, and you saw that is what happened when they had a handshake with President Uhuru Kenyatta. Anything to do with the Deputy President was actually dispensed with. So here we have two leaders who are actually looking forward to give Kenyans the best in terms of development and also fighting corruption and negative ethnicity by bringing peace and stability to the nation. But we have a few individuals who think that they can take this country at hostage because maybe they have made a few billions here and there through unscrupulous means. So let them be able to carry their crosses, Miriam. And I do not have any sympathies for Jimmy Wanjigi. For a fact, I know he's a billionaire, but he should also respect the people of Kenya, and he should do so by respecting the people who are fighting for the best lives, for the best economies, and for the best maybe scenarios for peace to be in this country. Let not him always wish to have his way. Kenyans can also decide that we've been fighting the government for quite too long. Therefore, we are our leaders have answered with President Uhuru Kenyatta. And look out there, Miriam, when President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga had a handshake, life has been quite calm even here in the capital. There are no more demonstrations, there are no more press conferences, and therefore life is moving on, businesses are coming in, and Kenyans are feeling actually the tranquility that they felt maybe during post 2002 during the Rainbow government. So that is something we want for the Kenyan people. We do not want a scenario where the opposition is always at war with the government of the day. And I believe that is what Jimmy Wanjigi was alluded to. I heard the other day also the Wasingishu women representative, Gladys Boschole, saying that this is not the Raila we know. And Jimmy Wanjigi was also saying this is not Raila, the Raila we know. Because the Raila they know was someone who will go to the streets and call for a rally, and Uhuru Park, before you know it, Uhuru Park will be beamed to capacity, full capacity. So this is not the kind of politics we want. We do not want confrontational politics. We want politics where the opposition leader like Raila Odinga can be able to work hand in hand with his brother to be able to achieve greatness for this country. I submit.
All right, Songa, and there are a couple of, before we bring in Dr. C has joined us, I think there are a couple of issues that you brought up there. And maybe, because we do know that obviously he cannot get the ticket of ODM. Like that is a fact. Everybody knows that. And also when you look at him, I don't see a bone of politician in him. Maybe I don't know how to look right, but he doesn't seem to be a politician. So it's very hard. Perhaps it has been very hard for him to convince Kenyans about his political and presidential ambition and all that, because he's not your typical Kenyan politician. So I just don't know about that. But I think something that you said that perhaps could be, I don't know, the underlying intention, which sometimes I question as to why he's even decided to join politics, and also insisting on using the ODM ticket. The handshake. Do you think after the handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, he must have been disgruntled. Perhaps he felt betrayed, being that a lot of Kenyans assumed him to be the biggest sponsor of ODM during and NASA during the last election. So perhaps he felt he had a bigger stake in it. Are we seeing a betrayal perhaps play out from Jimmy Wanjigi's part from the handshake?
Yes, thank you, Miriam. That is what Jimmy Wanjigi feels, and we don't care about whatever he feels, whether it is betrayal or otherwise. But one thing we have to put it clear is that Jimmy Wanjigi is a power broker and a deal broker, and he is in that simply because of business. President Uhuru Kenyatta might have denied him business because of his unscrupulous nature. You know, this is a man who cannot also explain the source of his wealth. You know, he has not gotten it through meritocracy, just like William Ruto. He's a billionaire. But when you tell him to explain his billions, he'll tell you how he started a garbage collection company in Nairobi. And before you know it, he's now a billionaire. So these are people with very, very tattered and have gaps in their way they made their wealth. So to me, I don't think maybe Raila Odinga would have entertained this kind of nonsense, regardless of the fact that perhaps, I don't know whether he gave ODM money, but one thing I know, perhaps he was trying to use Raila Odinga and the ODM brigade to settle his own scores with the Jubilee government. And we cannot allow that. On the question of maybe him turning into politics, we have to tell Jimmy Wanjigi that in as much as he regards himself as a kingmaker, he must know that kingmakers do not become kings themselves. And if you're a power broker, you just remain a power broker. There's no way you're gonna run and be able to win. You can look at someone like Francis Atwoli. Francis Atwoli is a very, very good kingmaker. If he supports you in Kakamega County or in Western Kenya, probably you're gonna win that particular seat. But when he tried his hand in politics, he never won that particular seat in Bisero. So that should serve as a lesson to Jimmy Wanjigi. He's not a natural politician like his father. He has been out of politics and he's out of touch from the Kenyan political arena. And that is why he's using like Eric Omondi to be able to whip emotions and be able to gather some little support here and there. But one thing he should know is that he should not use politicians to settle his own personal business scores with other people, and especially a politician of the stature of Raila Odinga, who is a statesman. So let him put his own messes and not engage people in this kind of blame games, Miriam.
Very well, thank you so much, Daniel Musunga. We're now joined by Dr. David Matanga from the Political Command Center. Doctor, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam. How are you?
We are doing very well.
I can see you right in Nairobi. Daniel, good morning.
Yes, a very good morning to you, Dr. Masanga.
Before you disappear to I can't say you are disappearing to have a baby, to look at the baby pram. Baby pram, to carry the pram. Yes. But it's okay. Very soon you will be carrying that pram. I can see. So thank you very much, Miriam. Oh, the network is playing. Are we all right? Oh. Thank you very much, Miriam. I've listened to what you are talking about Jimmy Wanjigi. For me, it is not Jimmy Wanjigi that I am bothered about to talk about. Because if you have followed my Facebook, you will find out I've written about a mafia state. And that mafia state does exist in Kenya anyway. And these are part of the mafia. Me, what worries me now more is the mafia state has captured the judiciary. To the extent that when the DCI captures a criminal, there is somebody in the treasury, in the judiciary, who issues in a higher court. I don't know where the Chief Justice is seeing this. There is one judge called Judge Murima. on duty. Even when others go for leave or for short break, he's on duty. He's issuing these orders. So this frustrates the entire magistrates' courts, because when the magistrates are determining a case, someone has already rushed to court to stop an arrest. So for me, what is worrying me more, Miriam, is not Jimmy Wanjigi. It is the state of our judiciary, the state of mafia that has infiltrated the judiciary to the extent that a judge, one judge, is always in favor. I don't think, Miriam, you could be arrested here and taken for fraudulent fraudulent acquisition of land, and you are simply told you are afraid on unconditionally to go. They will ask you for 20 million deposit and so on. So I was shocked. I'm more shocked about the mafia state that exists, the capture of state by the mafia. That is one point. Second point, on the question of Jimmy and the political life, Jimmy cannot be a politician because a man with 6 guns, some of them that are not permitted to be on planet Earth here in Kenya. You want him to be a politician, he will kill people. 3, it is a matter of money. You know, it's money, but money, you know, when people went to Wuhan in China, tried to do some laboratories, you can see what we have gone through in the whole world. Miriam, isn't it money that caused us all this disease? Have you sat down and asked yourself the question, why is it that America has never asked the origin of this disease and pestered? If it was Kenya where this disease came from, if it was Kenya, to be honest, Miriam, put yourself. So I'm trying to bring this issue to compare money as a factor in this country. That when you have more money, you have more justice. The more money you have, the quicker the justice is for you. That there is no ordinary man who can be left from that court of Minimani court unconditionally. When there is a judge preferred by the CID, and surely, so money creates what we call adventurism, which is a process where people just go out to do adventure. Like Dr. David Livingstone. He didn't know where to go, where he was going. But he landed on land in Africa, Miriam. He started walking, and walking, and walking, and walking. He went to Malawi and found Lake Nyasaland. He switched off, came and found, is it Lake Victoria or River Nile? That was Peak. David Livingstone walked a long distance across. Why? At least he was spreading something called Christianity, at the same time exploring areas that were new. But the current people of money go into ventures that are not their caliber. For example, you cannot, even if you are blind to what level or you have not gone to school, I don't think you can give Wanjigi a vote to go and become a president of the Republic of Kenya. We might find all our things in Kenya are mortgaged and When you try, he goes to International Arbitration Committee. And he will get his way out because he has got the mafia connections. So for me, that is what I think, Medium. What worries me more are the courts releasing people, especially one judge releasing Maina Wanjigi, or releasing Wanjigi, Jimmy, all the time. One judge prohibiting the lower courts from function. Who is this? What relationship do they have? Judge Mrima has been on stopping, has become another Odunga. That anything that used to go in that court that touches Uhuru Kenyatta, it doesn't pass. Now we have got a replacement of Odunga in the same court. Is he the only judge on duty? Is he the permanent and the pensionable on the desk? Even if there is malaria, he can't go. He will be there signing the documents. If you look at his background, he's becoming rich. So people should go deeper. Last night, I stayed late. I found some serious incriminating evidence on some politician. I could not believe it. In the medium, that's why I said, I couldn't believe that such a person could have done some of these things corruptly. So when I was told these things, when I got documents, papers, videos, I just went back. I said, instead of sleeping, I don't want to be involved in the sleep and then miss one point. So I stayed awake up to about 4 a.m. Then I started working. But the basic thing that I'm trying to bring the point here is our courts have become a mafia conduit courts. And a few months ago, 1 month or 2 months ago, I wrote about the mafia in Kenya. One of the problems that I have is I am a Gentile talking to the Jews. So I have limited capacity to convince. At times people don't listen to me. There are so many things that I have talked here that people underrate. But then when they happen, they don't come back to say, Matanga was right. But they just, in fact, they disappear as if they don't know anything. And that is okay. But those who listen to me, some of them will come find me on the streets, say, yes, you said this, and it has come to pass. For example, Miriam, I don't know whether you have touched the question of writing these letters to the ICC. Yesterday was a very big factor, and what is going on in the ICC is a very big factor also. And for example, now, I told Kenyans 6-7 years ago that let's begin quitting ICC. Let's leave ICC. And the people did not listen to me. It is going to come heavy from next month, that it will impact the entire politics, body politic of this country. That's why you see Mr. Ruto is running very fast to divert the attention of those who are going to listen to his evidence, how he clobbered witnesses, clobbered kupiga, na wengine walidisappear. Wengine walikufa, wengine walirecant, wengine walichange identity. The evidence is coming out. From 15th of February, it is going to be a very big Waterloo, a melting point for this nation. And what Ruto is doing at the moment, he's trying to build a case with the ICC chief prosecutor that it is not me. I have now brought this attention this to your attention, and the president is not acting. That is the, have you seen the letter that they wrote? They want to tell the ICC that it is not us. The president is not acting. And some of us who are friends of the president, who like the president's views, Pan-African friends, I don't care. I did not buy my friendship. Neither did I pay him money to give me, or he gave me money to be a friend. I happen to like his ideas. Are going to do our own way, our own things to safeguard, to also raise, if Ruto writes to the ICC, we shall also write to explain. Miriam, we need to explain who is also causing the trouble. So that the ICC has two files, one file of Ruto piling up, a file of independent-minded people. Because the moment you leave it as it is, you have a problem. If you leave it the way everybody in Kenya picking a pen on issue of tear gas and writing to the ICC, as if ICC has taken over the jurisdiction of the Kenyan courts, that is not agreeable. But they are achieving something, media. They want to achieve something. If we are not careful, they will achieve it. Believe me or not, they will achieve it. And if we don't run up and also start labeling and saying it is not us, it is them. I liked the police commission. I don't know whether you have discussed about the spokesman of police spokesman letter. The police spokesman letter was spot on, and I want to congratulate Mr. Shioso for being candid and straightforward, baseless rumors, gossip. Ruto himself creates these people, hooligans, then comes to cry. He's crying so that ICC thinks. But the main aim, Miriam, I want to tell you, and the Kenyans listening to me, the aim of Ruto writing to the ICC at the moment is to divert attention of the case that is beginning on 15th. So that the people, when it begins, remember his evidence has been admitted. You get my point? We did not come to hear his evidence in public. Now the evidence is going to come in public. We are going to hear everything in public. You are aware of that. What he did, how who commanded the banning of Chiamba Church, where the instructions came from. This is going to come because the ICC court allowed his evidence to be used. So Ruto is a very clever man. He quickly now picked up this fight, created this thing in Embakasi through his hooligans. Don't forget he has got hooligans in Embakasi, led by Murethi, a man called Murethi. Yes, who stood against Owino, Babu Owino. They were competed with Babu Owino. Daniel, you know him. You know Mr. Murethi. He created those hooligans so that everything, look at the story of Itumbi, created, fake, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit in the legs. Which leg was broken? One day the plaster is here, then they remove the plaster, they put here, then the plaster comes back here. So you don't know. A man is broken legs. A man's legs are broken. He walks. A broken leg, is it a fracture or sprain? Or a leg sprained or fractured? If they were fractured, he could not be moving by now. A fracture takes six weeks, 2 months to heal. Itumbi has not lasted 2 months. These people of Ruto have bought. Let me tell you, Miriam, you Kenyans is terrible. There are so many things being done. And Apparently, Miriam, some people in Kenya allowed these actions. Honestly, they allowed these actions, and then you say it's a very good democracy. Yes, but you allowed actions of this nature. These are competitors in that constituency. And this was a bank manager of Ruto. The man who banks money for Ruto. You tell me he didn't have a hand in that. No, you tell me. Tell me. You Kenyans, tell me. You can now accuse of Babu Owino because Babu Owino is equally the same like this boy. They are all the same. But one of them must have caused that violence. But for you to run to ICC, no, it doesn't help. And for people to keep quiet when Ruto is fixing, is writing in background, the government is pressing him. He's looking for a background, a stepping stone to say, I told you, I wrote to you in January, warning you about the police state. That's what he wants. Can't you see the logic where he's heading? That's exactly that. To cover up all these things. Because I don't know. You see, politics being politics, the way you have played politics in this country amuses me. I am amused, very amused, Miriam. And I don't know how things are, but going by these events, to be very honest, the only way the Supreme Court could do is to tell Kenyans, since they are the final people on the state of affairs, of legal affairs in this country, to tell everybody in this country that you were not yet ready for anything. I wish the court comes out to say that. I wish the court came out and told the government that don't try. We see the blood being prepared, bloodshed coming. Don't try an election, Miriam. Let this election be postponed while the IEBC and other things. Look, you are going into an election where 2 million people of a county are competing with 300,000 people. And the 2 million votes are the ones that you are chasing in order to earn your presidential docket. Surely. What do you tell me? Is that equality? Is it equity? Is it equity? 2 million people voting in one count, giving you 2 million votes. Okay, they say 1.9 million votes. Or 2 million, or 1.8. One county, and leaving the 200 small children and those under. Is that equity? Is that equity that you are looking for in Kenya? Where is the balance? That's why you are going into an election. People are still calling others Mukora, Munyororo, Wajamaa wa Nyororo, Wajamaa wa Tandawili. This is the same language that you used in 2008. The state of Kenya is in a very, very terrible situation. It is shrinking. The state is shrinking. While Nigeria is sinking, Kenya is shrinking. You get my point? Now, Miriam, have you got two comparisons? Nigeria is sinking. Kenya is shrinking in terms of unity. Nobody thinks about unity at the moment. Nobody, apart from Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. The other gentleman is hungry for power. There is hunger in Jara to arrive State House. Njaa inamuuma. Lazima afike State House. He doesn't care whether Miriam will be beaten on the streets or whether buildings burned, people's properties destroyed. He wants power. So I wish there is something. I don't know whether Miriam and Daniel, whether you people are thinking the way I am, or you are seeing things the way I'm seeing. Look here. The whole of cloud, when you, the entire cloud of Kenya, there's something wrong. I don't know whether you are looking at it also. There's something which is not. It doesn't give you confidence. Even in the way the leaders are speaking now, one comes and says it's an earthquake. Now I've discovered what he called an earthquake. Honestly, a few months ago, Mudavadi got new cars. Assembled new cars. You remember I told you on this show.
Yeah, true, very true.
And I gave a lead because my role is as a journalist, an investigative journalist. Mine, if nowadays, since I'm a Gentile preaching to the Jews, I just give it from here. And I said it. Because people don't listen. I said, there are two things that are happening in Kenya behind the scenes. Two, one, bankrolling of political party. Miriam, get it right? Bankrolling of political party by foreign dark forces that hate President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. There are people outside Kenya who hate President Uhuru Kenyatta. They have bankrolled his deputy and they have bankrolled Mudavadi. I want Wesonga to listen to this very carefully. I talked about George Soros. And every time I talk about George Soros, Kenyans laugh at me. They mock me. They give me names. They give me some of the bad names that when my children read this, the names that they give me. Some of them said that, what is it that you are gaining from that place? That you cannot have and sit and have good life. But I've stood there since the handshake took place. I've stood there and I've been able to sustain a campaign against them. I now want to tell you frankly that George Soros came into this country sometime back in 2015 and met William Ruto in the office. Not George Soros, but the executive director of George Soros Open Society Foundation. When they met, this was not known to the government what they discussed. In William Ruto's office, there is a link of George Soros. Because for me, I've talked about it, but people go on being childish. Therefore, I'm not a child anymore. I've seen coups. I've seen governments overthrown in my hands. I've run and run. So I know what it is. In Ruto's office, there is a link of George Soros. George Soros had two prongs of tackling Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta Jubilee administration. One, he had the prong of William Ruto, who needed money. And two, he had the prong of Musalia Mululu, is it Mululu Musalia Mudavadi, the son of Anna. The two were very good competitors for George Soros' money. Musalia went to United States, sat down with George Soros. He spent 1 good month. The son of Hannah and Moses Mudamba sat for 1 month to 2 months in the US, making his links and meeting even Open Society Foundation officials. They went together with Ewaro. They went together with with Baraka Muluka, who was the Secretary General by then. They had removed Otsotsi. Anybody who wants to take this free intelligence, take it, because I'm fed up now. This happened, and it is there. In New York, these meetings took place in America. The axis of George Soros, Miriam, and Wesonga came influenced in Ruto's office. The George Soros axis is Abraham Singoye, who worked with George Soros Open Society Foundation before coming to Kenya. He's the main link. That's how George Soros wants to create a revolution in this place. He's defeated in regime change through the former prime minister. He's now got 2 other people, and out of the 2 of them, they are together. They share them. They get the money from one source. You can go and ask your stupid things. What do you call? You are writing what? Get them. But it's me, I'll speak because I protect the head of state of this country. I love him. I like the way he does his things. He's a Pan-African. Let me put this out for everybody to hear. This information is there. If people want it, they can get it. But people just don't want it. People are interested in money. Money, 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 money. Anywhere. Anything, money. Anything, money. Money, 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 money. So, George Soros funds the earthquake that you will see on Saturday, on Tuesday, on Sunday. The song I've given you clue now. There's no earthquake on Sunday. The Sunday earthquake is the 2 guys come together. The George Soros malcontents that have been separate, away, are come. That's the earthquake he told us. Because finally the money arrived. Yes, don't ask me. I'm not obliged to go anywhere. If Musalia feels that he's not George Soros, he can sue me. Then we can have a longer run before he even gets his election. It is very difficult to sue a duck that has caught mud, that has put legs in the mud. You know it, the saying, Mr. Wesonga, that duck can touch man everywhere when you have a white shirt. If they say they never got the money from George Soros, show us where you got the money for campaign. Who is funding Mudavadi? Who? If it is not that prong, what made Baraka Muruka told us, and I have another alibi, who was there, another witness. I was not alone. How he disagreed with Musalia because of the money that came from the United States. He told us, I don't want to repeat the words here, but they were very harmful words. So today, when you tell people there is an earthquake, that is the earthquake of George Soros finally hoisting a candidate in Kenya. And the two candidates of George Soros who are beneficiaries of George Soros' dollar are very clear. It is Ruto and Mudavadi. Kalonzo Musyoka was trying to go closer to Wanjigi. That's why you see Maanzo is running around there. Maybe they could pick a few billions and pump into a campaign. And maybe Kalonzo can now select Jimmy Wanjigi as a running mate. That plan could be there. But Kalonzo is still one of the few people who could back Raila Odinga. That's the analysis. Let's not hide things because we are fed. Some of us are fed up, kabisa, up to here. It's kabisa. Because these things have been happening for a long time. For a long time. And it is now coming back to rule. You will see on Sunday, Monday morning, Daniel Wesonga, Miriam Ogutu, and others, and all of us, we shall be here analyzing what I've told you. The money arrived, the money is here. The money George Soros has picked one of the candidates in the Kenyan elections. Like it or not, don't ask me too many questions. I have been investigating George Soros since 2005. And I have so many serious links. I can even produce the receipts of the hotels where Musalia arrived. He never used his credit card. I can justify to anywhere that it was Open Society Foundation invitation of discussing the Kenyan politics. From the time he arrived here, Mr. Musalia turned very badly on Raila Amolo Odinga because Raila Amolo Odinga was the chosen George Soros man. But when he shook hands with His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, he became an enemy now. So they are fighting, the external dark forces are fighting Raila Amolo Odinga. Miriam, does it make sense? Daniel, does it make sense? Miriam, I hope you got my message. Any comments? Yeah. Daniel?
Dr. Masanga, I agree with you, and I've always known you as an expert on that. So I don't want to dilute whatever you said. Now it is up to Kenyans to pick it and make sense out of whatever submission that you've made.
Yeah, if I'm wrong, just come here on Monday. If Mudavadi is going to create an earthquake, the earthquake coming from Mudavadi is that finally I have the money to run, to make sure that Raila Odinga does not get the 50+1. Then we go for second round. I tactfully join Ruto to defeat Raila Amolo Odinga. That's why the two legs are clear. Savula saw that one and jumped off. Savula wants a pre-election agreement. Mudavadi wants a post-election agreement. You hear me? That's why the MPs of Mudavadi, at first Mudavadi said they oppose the bill on the floor. Then a few days, well, a week passed. You remember Miriam? He said, no, we now support. It was too late. All the MPs of ANC were voting for the bill because they are not sure if this goes that way, if there is no there's no post-election agreement. The two front runners are the first man, the first man and the second one go for a fallout now. So Mudavadi's supporters will be told Ruto. That's it. Because Mudavadi openly fears to come and say, I am with Ruto. Now, the backlash, his history, the background of economy, the clean man of Kenya, except the cemetery issue, where he was accused of selling a cemetery. It's very bad omen in Africa to sell somebody's grave, surely. In which the case, he was clear. We speak the truth. So Miriam, look at the matrix. That's how things are. But they have the money has arrived, and that's the earthquake. Why Mustabadi was hesitant? Why was he hesitant? Why? Because he had no money. But they have found a very good president. His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta is a very good man. By now, some of this money would be vomited. But he's a very good man. So that is one of the areas, the two areas that I wanted to touch. I don't know whether you have touched other African news or you are going to there. Then we finally return to the Supreme Court of Kenya. But one of the African news is that Namdi Khan was awarded 12 billion. Is it 12 billion naira? 1.2 naira or what? Have you seen that news? Yes. He was awarded 1.2, no, 12 billion. Is it 1.2 billion naira by the judge in Nigeria for the way they bombarded the father's house. They entered, he was compensated last. Well, but of course, that's the High Court. I believe the state will go to the Supreme Court, to Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. But he got one reprieve yesterday. One judge in Nigeria accepted the 12 million, 1.2 billion. Anybody in Nigeria on the line could tell us how much the money was. 1.2 billion or 12 billion naira. I read it somewhere. I think Stephen, let's send the studio, let the studio have this clip so that it can tell us. Then as Miriam is looking for further African news, we can have the my technical team. Thank you, technical team. And Medium have got it. Yeah, the court in Nigeria awards. The court in Nigeria awards. Court orders Nigeria government to apologize and pay 1.1 billion to Nnamdi Kanu. It's here. It's in the Guardian newspaper, and it is all over. It's here. That is breaking news coming from Nigeria. The court in Nigeria has adjourned the case of Nnamdi Kanu until, I don't know, they have just come in with breaking news. So, Medium, can we do it there? A court in Nigeria has awarded 1 billion naira to Mr. Nnamdi Kanu. This is the beginning of it says they have accused the Attorney General just now, a few minutes ago. Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB leader, pleads not guilty to terrorism and treason charges. And then I've seen another one. I've seen another one where they have just adjourned. The court has adjourned. So Nnamdi Kanu court, IPOB leader, pleaded not guilty to amend charges as the judge adjudicated to February. The February what? Miriam? To February 16th. So thank you very much for that, for those who have been corresponding for us from Abuja. That is exactly what has happened in a few minutes. Medium analysts, there is anything. Oh, there is a point I wanted to make on the Kenyan polity, the politics. You know, I brought it, then I diverted. There's a small point. I just want to ask one question, and especially you, Miriam and Daniel. Do you see people in this country? Do they really feel for a nation patriotism? The lawyers, the advocates, the judges, whichever side you are, do you really see there is a cloud of saying we need unity? Or do you really see the euphoria of one candidate who has actually, you see, for me, the more I think about it, the more I see two parallel states. Two parallel states, Miriam. They are running, you can see them. There is a state that is really already blackmailed. That belongs to His Excellency, Deputy President Ruto. They can even slaughter you when you say Ruto. stole this, Ruto did corruption here, Ruto did that, Ruto did this. Then there is a state that feels for this nation, that liberated this country, that wants a semblance of a democracy, a push for a better democracy, not for a destructive Rome, not Emperor Nero, but the Emperor Julius Caesar, who wanted a Rome after he had conquered several states, wanted a stabilized Rome. So, Miriam, I see those two states. And when the judges sit down in this court today, one of the judges who amused me asked a very embarrassing question. You must have also seen it in a song about the participation. And apparently he's a very, I don't know what he has, what grudge he has with us.
Justice Ouko, that is.
Yes. Apparently, it's a question you cannot ask a primary student. You can't ask him that question. That what is the participation? Surely.
Dr. Matsanga, we believe he so badly wanted to become the Chief Justice, but meritocracy put him out of that particular race. So I believe whichever disgruntlement that he has against anyone, he should not bring it in the courtroom.
It looks, no, honestly, because a question like the role of media, the role of IEBC is to collect signatures. Is not to politicize the signatures. Their role is to collect and look at how many have you got. But the IEBC cannot go and do a participation and say, hey, we need these signatures for a bill, which they don't know. That's one. The bill so far, IEBC cannot write a question when the bill has not come back. As it was going to write a question, someone went to court and stopped it. So you cannot discuss multiple questions when IBC had not told you whether they were going to use multiple or single questions. You get my point? So when you look at this type of life, and you are only 6 months to an election, believe me or not, I think it will wake up in the morning. Someone will say, you know what? BBI was just a dream. Was stopping BBI was a dream. You can conclude the rest. If the court rules, Miriam, that BBI now can take off. If I were President Uhuru Kenyatta, I wouldn't allow an election in August. I will come back to Parliament. I have the numbers now in Parliament, and now begin to reassemble the law. Ask the Parliament to reassemble the law. The proper law. A thief should not smell anything here. Anybody with a case should not smell anything. That's why the other side is fighting this bill. They say they know a party without ideology, whose ideology is very dangerous. If the regis of the political parties feel that Miriam's ideology is going to bring terrorism, your party is registered. So you go back to the drawing table. That's why Ruto is not comfortable. Unfortunately, or fortunately, this bill is going to pass in the Senate, and it could pass without amendment. That's all. That's all. The country needs it. But they will run to court. They will run to court. If I were the courts this time, people will want it to go. And that's what we should do. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Doc, before we go, I think we had arrived at the African stories part. I think there's a story here that perhaps I should bring to our attention. A parliament in the United Kingdom on Tuesday debated a motion on whether to recognize Somaliland as an independent nation, even as London rushed to downplay the session. The motion, which is the Westminster system, was labeled an adjournment debate. It came after the session of Parliament on Tuesday night, which meant there will be no vote or further business after the discussion. Somaliland had seen that as a step forward, getting a global endorsement to be a republic. Vicky Ford, the Minister for African, Latin America and Caribbean, said the debate was only a show of the UK's consistency on the Somalia matter. So actually, the UK's Parliament debated on, or rather the motion was brought to Parliament if whether the UK should recognize Somaliland as an independent country.
Studio, can you bring back my diplomatic leaks? Then you can now bring back the diplomatic leaks. From today, then Miriam could tell that this man, I told you. I told you. Rearrangement of Somalia. We discussed, didn't we discuss with you? Wesonga? Daniel, you know that. Studio, if you bring clips of the rearrangement of Somalia. Does Somalia need rearrangement? Yes, I told you. It was coming. It was coming. Anybody who studied international intelligence like me, I saw it coming. I'm a member of the Chatham House. Somalia is going to be, Miriam, listen to me. Somalia is going to be rearranged. Believe me or not, it might not be Kenya rearranging it, but it is going to be rearranged. That's one step forward towards recognition. What will you do? They will come and plant their a base, a marine base in Puntland. Will you touch them? Hagesa, they are already there. They are moving towards that direction. The very fact that it can reach the floor of the House of Commons in Westminster, that's enough. Any member of Chatham House, life member like some of us, I am, how to know? I will find, I told you, the Somalia will be rearranged. DRC Congo is being rearranged. Although there is some disturbing news that has come about DRC Congo. I don't know whether you have seen a video running around. It is not, but they are going to rearrange it. You know? Why can't it? Puntland should be rearranged. The guys are peaceful, Miriam. They are doing very well. You land at the airport, it looks civilized. You are not even scared that there is going to be a rocket propeller grenades coming from down as your plane is coming down. It's going to happen. Yes, thank you for bringing that attention, that article to us. Daniel, you have any comment? But the production team should have brought, well, if it is not there, it's no problem. But there you are, Daniel.
All right.
Yes,
And of course, Daniel, before you come in, Somalia has rejected the bid for Somaliland independence. And of course, successive administrations have banked on leaders in the north who want a union rather than two states, to argue that there is only one Somalia. And of course, after what happened in the UK Parliament, so Somalia has been up in arms since then. It's not very amused with the UK Parliament.
Thank you so much, Miriam. And of course, Dr. Masanga has been vindicated, and it shows that he does his homework quite well. So when you see Britain actually debating about this particular topic of rearranging Somalia and actually reinforcing the semi-autonomous states, then this is something that has actually been in discussion within the circles of the international stage. So perhaps we believe also that is the route, because this particular television was the first among the first ones in Africa to bring about that particular discussion. And Dr. Masanga was the brainchild about rearranging Somalia. And I believe it's not just the other time we talked about it. We've been talking about it since last year. So to me, I believe that is some good progress, and we need to see more and more Western countries advocating for this, because they are they're part of the sponsors who have been giving money to Somalia. Also, the African continent, countries like Kenya have been paying the price in terms of our military being in Mogadishu, Kismayo, and all the other parts of Somalia which are war-torn. So I believe this is a best strategy. Let us have the semi-autonomous states being recognized as separate countries, because they have exuded success of over 99% in terms of achieving peace, tranquility, education, and being able to run their own affairs. So therefore, Miriam, I support the rearrangement of Somalia.
And Miriam, also a Casimiro thing that I'd forgotten, not on Africa, but people, what do you think, maybe create it as a topic tomorrow? What do you think of people who vandalize government installations? Like a road, I talked about it last year, that the people cut the signpost and they make sigiri, which is the charcoal stoves. You know, if you go to the road towards Nakuru, Miriam, there used to be a lot of good signs when Kibaki was making this road. That there is a bend, drive slowly, reduce your speed. People in Kenya have got those signposts and they have made sigiri, plus the ink, the green paint. As you are cooking your maize, the green paint is seen on this side, which was part of the writings. So in countries like Rwanda, my dear sister, you know where these people end? They are charged with terrorism. If they find you with a sigiri cut, you have to show where you bought it. Then they go to that shop. Then they arrest you, plus the sigiri man who sold you. You are charged with Terrorism Act. Why do I say so? Power, water, power, traffic are key components of terrorism. Against are key components, targets of terrorism. And for us to allow people to vandalize our power lines, how many people died? How many people in hospitals? If there are hospitals in this country that did not have generators, Miriam, if you are on an operating theater and there is no generator, don't you die? You die. So there we are. Me, I feel they should change the penal code. Kenya should create what we call economic crimes court and the international division of the crimes act court, an international crimes division. You get my point. You know, Miriam, these are the things someone, why I'm talking about it. One of our biggest friends has sent me to say, discuss that one.
Yes, Doc, we had it. I had it on one of the things I wanted to talk about, but you know, the politics took over, so I had to just stop
No,
there.
but that is also politics.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fair. Go ahead.
The same when the RVM, the railway, was being completed, and before even we started using it, remember the people who already started vandalizing some of the accessories and, you know, on the railway. And President Uhuru Kenyatta, I remember, was very annoyed, and he said anybody who will be found vandalizing that should be shot dead. And, you know, people started making noise about it. When you look at something like these power structures that really are very important as far as you know, the infrastructure and you know, supplying power, very critical in this country. And some people don't have that, and we know this is because there's a booming business of the scrap metal. I think that is their biggest customers. So I think perhaps there should be regular random surveys on these scrap metal dealers, because I know if Kenya Power would go to a place and find you have one of their things, you'll be arrested, and that comes with a hefty price for you to pay. So I think, you know, even for Kenya Power and other state agencies who have infrastructures out there like this that are prone to vandalism, and some Kenyans who just don't even understand, you know, the importance of such things there. All they think about is, if I could sell a few metals here, I could have my, you know, unga for the day, because these are the kinds of people. But also we know their issue of sabotage, like we had in the papers today. And I want us to look at it, but, you know, our time was not on our side. As we know now, some top officials, you know, were charged under police custody, and the investigations are continuing. So there are the many facets of what we see, but there should be laws in place that if you're found vandalizing such important, you know, structures and things, there has to be a law in place that you will live to regret, you know, your actions. You will live to regret. And that will serve as an example, because we know Kenyans, you know, so others don't really understand the importance of these things, and even things like signage, the road signage, Doc, that you've alluded to, and a lot of places you go and the signages, people have vandalized them. So there has to be some measures in place to ensure that people with such behaviors, the law go after them very, very hardly. And also in the issue of Kenya Power, I think the issue of sabotage and whatnot is at play, and we can't deny that. And police are investigating, and perhaps we shall be waiting to see what they would have found after that. Daniel.
I think, Miriam, these are people who are opposed to the current overhaul that is happening at KPLC. And perhaps these top managers have been working in cohorts with a few individuals who are the top of the power company, that is the MD and maybe even the minister. Those of all of those who were flushed out during the reforms that are happening in KPLC to be able to lower the cost of power due to the cartels that have been taking advantage of power. You know, I found out yesterday that these managers have been receiving concerns about people unbolting the infrastructure along the power lines, but they have been actually doing nothing about it, owing to the fact that they know when these infrastructure is being vandalized, it could lead even to danger of maybe taking out lives of the innocent Kenyans. And that is why perhaps some of them were prosecuted on the charge sheet of terrorism. I believe that is something very dangerous for managers to do. And to me, let those culprits who have been working in cohorts with those saboteurs and cartels to be charged, and every stone left no unturned in that particular case, so that it serves as a lesson that if the government is determined to fight corruption, we do not have guys who come on board and try to use unorthodox ways to be able to subvert this effort by the government to salvage the cost of electricity and salvage even the Kenya Power and Lighting company itself, because you realize that the company over the period of past few years, it has been posting losses on the stock exchange and all that. So to me, I believe this impunity which has been fighting back, but lucky still, we have our investigative agencies that has been on their toes, and I believe those who have been brought to court will be able to give leads on what has been happening, and those culprits will be found culpable, will be charged and be sent to jail. I submit.
Very well done.
And Miriam, it goes back to my question again, my dear sister. Do you see something that I'm not seeing? This which I'm seeing, which is colorless but colored. Have I confused you on this one?
Yeah. Could you be a little?
Can I start?
Yeah.
Do you see something which I don't see? Is colored but colorless, and that's confusing somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You see it. Look, the president said, you touch the railway, even firing squad will work. You are charged with treason. People stop. Electricity is one of the key targets of terrorism. Water tanks. You see? And that is why people should be very careful that when you have these water tanks, which everybody goes on, if you study international Mossad, MI6, CIA, intelligence networks, Miriam, you watch even the films from California, Hollywood. A man claims to be a repairer of your water tap, but he's in essence, he's coming to put a smaller camera to watch you. Have you seen those type of films? Comes in that water, our dams, our airport. You know, airport, dams, electricity, and another, it is equivalent to State House. It's equivalent to State House. Now, the problem we have here is Ruto's factory in Kitengela. And listen to me, it's being guarded by 4 policemen. You saw that. It was talked here. One of my friends who is in the police guards that factory.
Is it the factory or the petrol station, the gas station? Which one?
Whatever, it is guarded. We have now, the point I am trying to make is, you see the color and then the colorless and then amnesia. Things disappear like that. When these guys start complaining of security, is when you see how many of them, how much security they have, thanks to the taxpayer of Kenya. But the taxpayer of Kenya does not complain why installations of that nature are not guarded. Okay, even if it is guarding is not there, why can't we do this? We can put electronic sensors that when you are touching any, you know, Madam Juma, Dr. Juma Monica Kagwanja, she's a very good listener. And I want to tell you, she's going to work on this if she listens to my advice here. Don't waste a lot of time. Miriam, let you have your let electricity go out of your house. or let your meter, madam, let your meter get spoiled. Honorable Minister Dr. Juma Monica, listen to me, my dear sister. If you lose a meter in the house, it's worse than, it's better to go to the kingdom of God. You can enter easily. You call this KPLC, they tell you, sijui, anakuja, 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 he's coming, coming. Medium, they don't come. You carry the meter itself. Go with it. I have seen a place where they have changed like 6 types of meters. You buy your unit, you want to load in. It refuses to load, kabisa. And you are in darkness, and there is a baby. There is a baby crying.
Yeah. So, Doc, just allow me to interfere with your thought process for one moment, because like I've said here before, I have the old meter, and in the old meter, we don't seem to be having problems there. The problem are coming in, and of course, there has been news that this prepaid, there's a problem when it comes to corruption, because some of them are wired towards certain people's accounts. So when you pay, so Doc, when you raise that issue of you pay, there's a problem. There's that issue of corruption that has been brought to our attention before. And so I don't know. Maybe we should go back to the old meters, because I know that the government bringing in, or Kenya Power bringing in this new meter, so that you're able to self-service to make it easier for you. But now it seems to be more headache, because the problems that you're pointing out, I don't have them. My meter is somewhere in my backyard. They'll come and read and go and give me the bill. But the problem seems to be with the prepaid. So I don't know what is it that perhaps the government can do about that.
Miriam, I don't want to lie to you. You are worse with the postpaid.
But I don't experience.
No, wait. You don't, because you are what? You know what?
Yes.
You are worse with the postpaid meter, because you are paying heftily. In fact,
I don't.
No, you go there, you don't know. You go there, let me tell you.
Yes.
We are also worse, we people with meter.
Yes,
I don't. There is one thing that I've decided in this world, never to have anything postpaid. My phones here, all of them, the iPhone plus this other one, they test another one here. All of them, if you don't see me calling you, you know I don't have money on the phone. And don't blame me. Until I load my phone with the money, then I can start chatting. Now, the worst thing with us prepaid meters, because me at the end of the month, do I need to worry? No. I don't need to worry. If the money has not come, I've already got my power. I'm eating, cooking. You people with postpaid, hey, if the money is missing, you have not paid, they cut it. There's no more negotiation anymore. Their rate of negotiation, in fact, their engineers are deadly, are better than the council money for parking is the most deadly, but they are negotiable. Utampatia 200 anakuacha. Lakini
so there's corruption there too. There's corruption there too. I agree with you.
It is huge. But this one here of the meters, let Madam Dr. Monica hear us. We are in chaos, Madam. You call that meter customer service. Sijui wako wapi, sijui. Do you know what? It used to happen to land in the UK. And I want to tell you the truth here. In the United Kingdom today, the people servicing our gas, where I am, They are not in the UK. The person knowing your problem that there is no gas in house number 20 on Museum Hill or house number 25 on Baracho Road or what is in India. From United Kingdom, the customer service is in India. India is making money out of the customer service of United Kingdom because they used to have this type of problems. When you call a person, the person coming to your door, call out charge is 20 pounds. That is coming 20 pounds. The power in your power is 5 pounds. But you are going to pay 20 pounds for somebody to look at your meter to adjust it. So we took action. People went to say the prices are too high. You know there the democracy is smooth, not like the one we have here, where we claim we have democracy. It is not there. Here is market waters of crocodile infested Earth River, you know, where each crocodile eats the other. The lawyer eats this, the judge. Morima orders for release of this. It is not democracy. You have to punish some people. So we made noise. The whole country, the news headlines, the BBC, what IT and Sky News, prices of the government came up with a policy, removed that telephone which you call, hello? Hello? Yes. My gas is not working. The lady says, hold on, sir. They will be coming in 2 hours' time, but there's a call out charge of 20 pounds or 5. By then it was about 3 pounds or 5 added to your bill. Yeah. And people said to add on the 5 pounds. 3 pounds was it for 3 pounds against 100 grown-up Britons. Sindio, you have made how many millions? Almost 300 million Britons. You have made 3 billion cash. That's a lot of money for British gas. So what the government came out with, it allowed privatization. What is killing, this is the point I wanted to make, and you have brought it. What is killing KPLC is lack of privatization. Give it to private people to run. People will run it very effective. And they gave the Indian company. So when you called from London, hello, the girl said, hello, very good Indian English. Hello, yes. Okay, hold on, David. Are you on number this? Yes. Yes. Okay. We can see where your problem of the gas. In fact, your gas repair medium is done. Your meter is adjusted from India. Time has come for Kenya. These are some of the topics, medium, please, instead of us going into this politics. These are some of the topics that you should be arranging yourself. Bring them, please. This politics over here of releasing Wanjiki and people not listening. They better get handkerchiefs ready to wipe the tears. They are coming. So let's get the topics which will help wananchi apate heshima on what to complain. So immediately the lady is actually repairing your gas and your meter is being adjusted. Thank you very much. And before she goes, he said, did you get the correct service? You said, yes, thank you very much. If the problem is bigger, then she said, tomorrow by 12, there will be somebody calling at your house to fix the looks like is a problem. Now, you tell me, if you say we are digital, we send money on M-Pesa, we send money on Airtel, we send money on Telecom, we have digital. Why haven't we digitized our meters? That instead of having too many people with cold jackets here walking around here, even polluting, bringing you COVID when you are in your house, anakuletea COVID, anakuja kuangalia mita yako. We could use yes, honestly, you can get that COVID. Some of these guys don't go for COVID tests. Yes, I go for COVID tests every month to have my report. Actually, tomorrow I'm taking to see whether I'm all right, because it's not a joke. Where you have hidden yourself, because I'm traveling. I will be traveling for the burial of for the funeral service of my brother in the final place in London, in the church, so that I can see him and send him off. Look at this. I will have to go for COVID either tomorrow or Saturday, so that I get my certificate. Then I log in my locator. You have hidden yourself into a house very nicely. Huyu mtu ya mita anakuja anakuletea hiyo gas. You are infected. No, let KPLC use the digital platform, arrange all these meters together. We are giving advice here like we gave Mr. Mutahi Kagwe. Mr. President, yes, Punchline was the one that gave Mr. Mutahi Kagwe the idea. Let them also at times come back and say thank you, Matsanga. On Kenya Airways, where the locator, their Minister of Health official was not, the brains were not working. And I want to thank the CAS Mwangangi. She actually sent me a message. Madam, thank you. If you grow like that, you are going to manage Machakos very well. I hope people don't confuse you. She sent me a message, that lady Mwangangi, and said, Dr. David Matsanga, thank you very much for the advice. We have put locator numbers. Now, for you to board Kenya Airways, either from London or from Nairobi, you must be accepted by the Ministry of Health in Nairobi to come. Disease will go away. So if you have no locator number, and it has not said thank you very much, successful, it is machine to machine working, or machine to machine. There is no human being in the middle now, medium.
Mm-hmm.
That is the type of thing that we need in the power industry. Yes.
And yeah, sorry to cut you, and I totally agree with what you're saying, but I know somebody who was traveling out of the country yesterday, as they were afraid to go have their COVID test. So what they did, they got some fake paperwork from Camry itself. You see, that is we have a problem. And so I appreciate the efforts also that the government has gone ahead to put the testing. I think the Minister of Health has said they'll start testing everybody who's leaving the country at the JTIS. I think that will go a long way in sealing these loopholes and addressing the issue of unscrupulous government officials who go ahead to collude and offer these fake COVID test results, because she got the test result from Camry, and that shocked me. So when you see that, it is from a very legitimate place. So you not think that this thing is fake. So I was really shocked and also appalled at the same time.
Miriam, you are shocked. Me, I'm even more.
She traveled out of the country and she got wherever she went. I don't know if she was tested and they found that she had COVID, but she was able to get out of the country with it.
Exactly. South Africa. Look, why have our planes, the planes, Kenya Airways, being stopped from going to Dubai? It's because of Nigerians. Nigerians leave Lagos and come to Kenya. They stay here because of the visa free. They enter here. And when they enter in this country, they go and forge papers to travel out of the country. And they do COVID papers, which are forged. They pay dollars to forge COVID test documents. And they create Kenya a problem. They create this country a problem.
Even Kenyans themselves, because this.
No, wait. Nigerians first, then Kenyans.
We have
when I went to the airport, and let these people, I am happy that the Minister of Health answered me, and he put there that locator number, thanks to our television station and to my voice. And my voice that they did that.
But here's the thing. They will be given locator number from wherever they've been tested. But now you see they're given fake. The results are fake. So even if they have the locator number and the test results, like this person, I know this person, and they went out of the country yesterday. They had fake COVID test results. They could not go take the COVID in the comfort of their home. They just sent the details to Cambridge. So they'll be given a locator number. They'll have a locator number for that. So by the government going ahead and putting a testing again at the center at the airport, I think that will go a long way. So what we can ensure now, that place we don't have corruption at the airport.
Yes,
we don't have corruption
no, even at the airport. Go there early enough. The equipment now gives you results like a Dubai. In Dubai, you sit, you go very early, you will get within 2 hours your results. If you have COVID, you don't climb a plane. We must fight this. We must help the government to fight some stupidity that we see here. Because if we don't, even if you put that testing at the airport, do you know what? It doesn't work. They will not work. They are going to bribe those officials, get the papers and climb. The worst people that carry this COVID are the airline staff. And the Minister of Health should remove what they call antigen. This is swab of nose. Mtu anaweka kakatu kwa nose hapa. No. They should remove it. Do a PCR. Because Miriam, with a PCR, inakuambia damu iko namna hivi, kitu iko namna hivi, iko na notes. Let the ministry ask for notes, not only the certificate, notes from the laboratory.
But that is because I remember when I came for my vacation, I went to Aga Khan and I had my COVID test. It was okay. But I'm just reading my results here. I was told the test type is trusted RT-PCR, and they did the nose things. I don't know what you're saying, Doc. It's the PCR.
No, that's not the PCR. It's antigen. What did they do?
Yes, and antigen takes only a shorter time period, and the other one takes 24 hours.
Did they do the nose and the throat?
Just the nose. It's
that's antigen, medium. That's antigen. Okay. That's antigen. So what you do for you on your own life.
So the sample type is now what you're saying for the because my sample type was a swab, the nose swab. So the sample type is what you do now for what you're referring to now. But the test is RT-PCR, the one for the nose. But the sample test, how they take the sample.
Yes, both. So that they go down and they look for tonsils. Tonsil 1, tonsil 2. Wanatoa. Because ugonja yote inakuanga hapa tonsils. Ziko hapa. It's loaded there. And then inside here, you allow the thing to go inside. You know, antigen, why this COVID came back in Britain? They went on giving people antigen, people to do their tests in their houses. They have also changed the method. Because in the house, some people put water in that thing and put it back. So when you test it doesn't come. my friend. So they discovered so many of these things were blank, 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 blank. That's how we got banned from Dubai. Even the airline staff themselves, the results, when they leave them behind, the results are checked. And you know, the Arabs don't keep, there is no corruption in Dubai. Because there is cutting the hand and there's fire, you know, cutting your hand. They can cut your hand. You know, some of these Islamic states are very good. Cut your hand so that you don't.
I think that is what we need here, because if somebody can get a fake COVID results from Camry, the trusted government institution, then we have a problem.
Yeah. If Islamic law was here, Ruto would have been cut off his hand.
I was appalled. I was literally appalled. And if I could snitch on this person, I would. But they went to the airport with the fake results and they were allowed to fly out of the country. Can you imagine? Because as a traveler, you would, in your mind, you would think anybody around you is safe. Because they've been allowed.
Miriam, that is why. Look at me. If Moses was here, he could tell you. Do you know I have a suit I wear like a Kenyans? When I reach inside there, I go to the toilet and I wear like them. I remove it when I reach London. I'm telling you the truth. Nick on a suit. I wear the whole thing also. So to taonana badai. Because for me, I rarely go to the toilet. I rarely go to the toilet unless food has disturbed me. But I don't go to the toilet. I don't go for short call. I get my laptop, Daniel, and I start my work. And I wear my suit. So we talk through the, you don't touch me, I don't touch you. Until we jump down at Heathrow, remove it, put it in a bag, go with it. Because you get a disease from a point where you never expected yourself to be sick. And that is what is happening here. It's true. You go from home when you are very well, you reach the airport, you got it. And these things are happening. Now, like that guy, that person you are talking about, how many people has he infected on the airport? How many people in the plane he was going, and he might be even a person who go to the toilet fruit all the time, kupaka.
Yeah, because you assume everybody that has been allowed to come through that entrance, they are safe. They have their COVID results and they're okay. So you would perhaps feel relaxed. So if half of these people, that is a problem that the government has to address. That is an
in a final analysis, as we leave, we have done our best to highlight the Kenya power. Those are the topics that Miriam, we need. Please pick more of those, because the Kenyan politics has become funny. You don't know, if you arrest somebody, you take him to jail, he's released unconditionally because one judge has said release him. So I wouldn't like to waste my saliva on talking about such. I would want to waste saliva on talking on practical things that help the community. Things like the meters, they help. How they should change the meter to be in a digital platform. That when you call like a DSTV, they can, you know, the DSTV, they can connect your that box. What is it called? The top box, that one, it is called what?
The decoder.
The decoder. Thank you. The decoder. They can readjust the decoder when they are seated in the office. Why can't we have these meters readjusted? Why would somebody come to your door with the COVID and then you open the door, then you allow him 10 minutes?
Thank God for me, I don't have to open. They'll just go to my backyard. I won't even know if they came and read and went.
Yeah, you are lucky. Mama, you are lucky.
But many people, they have to access the house.
You are lucky. You are lucky, my daughter. You have a backyard. Some of us have no backyard. We have balcony.
Sorry, I say that. It's not a big deal, but I'm just saying, they could be reading my meter right now. I don't know. They'll just read and go.
And then they give you,
I'll receive. Yeah, I'll receive my, like for the last month. And Kenya Power has been very good to me, Doc. Maybe that's why I'm insisting. I'm insisting on these old meters because let me check my bill for I received my bill for December on the 1st of January, and 321 Kenya shillings. Can you imagine?
What? but the president, you should thank His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta.
No, mine has been well since June last year. I've been receiving there's a time I received 100 shillings. I had to call them and ask, did you really read my meter? I had to call them because, I used to receive very ridiculous bills, but hey, I have no qualms with Kenya Power. All right, we have to go now.
Okay, thank you very much, all of you. Don't forget tonight at 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, facing the political fire. We shall have Professor Piero Lumumba, Professor David Hoyle, and others. Miriam, if you are free, you are in the house, join us. But it is a very interesting subject. Is Nigeria sinking? Is Nigeria as a state sinking? And we have several people from Zimbabwe today, haggling how to join. We shall have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people joining tonight. It's a show of might. Okay. Is it a show of mighty? Isn't it? That good English? A show of might. Thank you very much. Professor Piero Lumumba says Nigeria is sinking into Atlantic Ocean. Why? Yeah, I didn't know that Piero could be quoted in court. Today, people quoted him as Badin countries, Badin energy.
Piero is a respected legal mind in this country.
Yes, Badin. The country is called Berlin, partitioning of Berlin in 1884 by Bismarck. Hey, voila. Thank you very much, Daniel. Of course, you will be there. And Miriam, please make it lively if you can. Thank you very much.
Right.
Let's now rest and discuss and research more on that topic.
All right, and perhaps take our viewers to the Supreme Court where the BBI appeal hearing is ongoing. So perhaps that is where we shall leave you at. Thank you so much for your time, for watching and for participating in today's shows. Daniel Wasonga, thank you so much. And of course, Dr. Matsanga.
Thank you. God bless.